Welcome to my channel, my friend. Today, I want to ask you a question that is very important. Why do so many people give up on English? Have you ever thought about it? Every day, thousands of people begin their English journey with so much energy. They buy new notebooks, download apps, watch videos, and make promises to themselves. In the beginning, they are full of hope. But after some weeks or months, that fire becomes smaller. The notebooks stay closed. The apps are deleted. The dream becomes quiet. Why does this happen? Why do learners lose the excitement and stop before they reach fluency? Maybe this has happened to you too. Maybe you have felt tired, embarrassed, or slow, and thought, maybe English is not for me. But listen carefully. You are not alone. Today, we will talk about the real reasons people give up, and more importantly, how you can escape these traps and keep moving forward, step by step, until English becomes part of your life. Chapter 1. Why people give up on English. In the beginning, learning English feels exciting. Think about the first time you decided to learn. Maybe you bought a new notebook, clean and white, ready for fresh words. Maybe you downloaded a few apps on your phone. You told yourself, this time I will do it. I will become fluent. You had so much energy. Every small word you learned felt like a victory. You wrote down new phrases, practiced greetings, and maybe even tried watching English videos. For a while, it felt wonderful, like standing at the start of a big adventure. You imagined yourself speaking with confidence, maybe traveling, maybe working in another country, or maybe just talking with new friends. The dream was alive inside you. But slowly, something began to change. The excitement started to fade. The notebook stayed closed for days. The apps on your phone sent notifications, but you ignored them. The dream started to feel heavy. What happened? Why did something that began with joy turn into frustration? This is the story of many English learners. They start strong, but after some time, they stop. And the question is, why? Let us talk about the 4 main reasons people give up on English. 1. Fear of mistakes. The first reason is fear of mistakes. Many learners feel embarrassed when they speak. They think, what if people laugh at me? What if I say something wrong? What if they don't understand me? This fear is very powerful. It makes people stay silent, even when they know the words. They prefer to say nothing rather than risk being wrong. Maybe this has happened to you. You want to speak, but your tongue feels heavy. The words are in your mind, but they do not come out. You stay quiet, and later, you feel sad. But here is the truth. Mistakes are not enemies. Mistakes are teachers. Every mistake shows you where to grow. Without mistakes, there is no learning. 2. Slow progress. The second reason people give up is slow progress. At the beginning, progress feels fast. You learn greetings, colors, days of the week. You feel proud. But later, learning becomes harder. New words do not stay in your mind. Grammar feels confusing. You listen to English, but it sounds too fast. This stage is called the plateau. It is when progress feels invisible. You are still learning, but you cannot see it. And because you cannot see it, you think nothing is happening. Many learners stop here. They believe, I am not improving. I will never become fluent. But the truth is, improvement is happening inside, slowly, quietly, like a seed underground before it becomes a tree. 3. Comparison with others. The third reason is comparison. Today, we live in a world of YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram. You see people speaking English so fluently. They sound natural, confident, and fast. And you think, why can't I be like them? Why am I still struggling? Comparison is dangerous because it makes you blind to your own progress. You forget how far you have already come. You do not see your own small victories. Instead, you only see your weaknesses. This creates sadness, and slowly, motivation disappears. 4. Lack of confidence. And the fourth reason is lack of confidence. Many learners study grammar, vocabulary, and rules for years. They can write, they can read, but when the time comes to speak, they freeze. They think too much. They correct themselves in their head before the words come out. It feels like having a car full of fuel, but being too afraid to drive. You have the knowledge, but you do not use it. This lack of confidence makes learners silent, and silence becomes a habit. A personal story, spike moment. Let me share a story with you. Some years ago, I went to a small restaurant. I wanted to order food in English. I thought I was ready. I had practiced sentences like, "I want chicken, and can I have water, please?" But when the waiter came and looked at me, my mind went blank. I tried to speak, but the words came out wrong. I mixed grammar, I forgot vocabulary, and the waiter could not understand me. I felt embarrassed. People behind me were waiting, and I wanted to disappear. For a moment, I thought, this is too hard. Maybe English is not for me. Maybe I should give up. But later, I realized something important. That moment was not a failure. It was a lesson. The mistakes showed me what I needed to practice. They were not signs to quit. They were signs to continue. From that day, I started to see mistakes as teachers, not enemies. And slowly, speaking became easier. A hopeful reminder. My friend, if you have felt fear, slow progress, comparison, or lack of confidence, remember, these struggles are normal. They do not mean you are failing. They mean you are learning. Every English speaker in the world has walked through these same problems. You are not behind. You are on the path. Do not give up because of these challenges. Instead, use them as proof that you are moving forward. And this brings us to the next chapter. If giving up comes from fear, slow progress, comparison, and lack of confidence, then what is the solution? How can we continue learning with hope? The answer is simple: small steps. Chapter 2. Small steps create big change. Learning English can often feel like standing at the bottom of a huge mountain. You look up, and the peak feels so far away. You imagine yourself standing on top, speaking fluently, traveling, working, maybe even living abroad. But when you look at the climb, your heart feels heavy. How will I ever reach there? It's too high, too far, too difficult. This is the picture most English learners see in their minds. A giant mountain, a dream that feels impossible. And because of this, many people try to rush. They think the only way to reach the top is to take big steps. So they study for 3 or 4 hours in one day. They memorize long lists of words. They read difficult grammar books. At the beginning, they feel powerful. But after a few weeks, their energy disappears. They feel tired, bored, and empty. Slowly they stop. This is the mistake many learners make. They believe fluency comes from giant efforts, but giant efforts often lead to burnout. The truth is different. The real power is not in big steps, but in small, consistent steps. Think about this. If you spend only 5 to 10 minutes on English every day, it feels small. You may think, this is nothing. I need hours, not minutes. But let's calculate. 10 minutes a day becomes more than 60 minutes in a week. In a year, it becomes more than 20 hours. That's 20 hours of learning that many people miss, simply because they wait for the perfect time to study for hours. Small steps, when repeated, create big change. It's like planting a seed in the ground. On the first day, you see nothing. On the second day, still nothing. Weeks pass, and you may think, did my seed die? Is it useless? But under the soil, something magical is happening. Roots are growing, slowly, quietly, invisibly. And then one day, a tiny green leaf appears. That is how English works. Your brain collects sounds, words, and rhythms quietly. You may not see it at first, but one day, you suddenly understand something you never understood before. That is your green leaf. Let me tell you about my own magical moment. I was watching a TV show in English. Normally, I always read the subtitles in my language. But one day, something happened. A character said, "I don't know what to do." And before I looked at the subtitles, I already understood. The meaning entered my mind directly, without translation. For a second, I froze. I thought, wait, did I just understand that in English? It was small, but it was powerful. That moment gave me new energy, new hope. And it happened not because I studied for hours, but because I gave myself small, daily chances to listen and learn. Now you may ask, okay, but what small steps should I take? Let me give you some ideas. These are micro actions, tiny practices you can do every day. Write 2 or 3 sentences about your day. For example, today I went to school. I ate rice for lunch. I felt happy because I finished my work. Simple sentences, but they build your habit. Speak 1 sentence in the mirror. Look at yourself, smile, and say something like, I am learning English today. You may feel silly at first, but slowly, your mouth will become comfortable with English sounds. Read 1 short paragraph from a story, article, or children's book. Don't try to finish everything. Just a paragraph. Read it slowly. Read it twice if you want. Listen to 1 English line from a song. Repeat it. Sing it. Feel it. You don't need to understand every word. Just enjoy the rhythm and sound. These actions are so small that you cannot fail. They take only minutes, but if you do them every day, your English will grow like a tree. I can tell you from my own experience, small steps work. For many months, I practiced like this, just writing short sentences, speaking simple words to myself, listening to songs, and reading small pieces. At first, it felt like nothing was happening. But then, after some time, I noticed something amazing. Sentences started to form naturally in my mind. I didn't translate word by word. Words came together like friends walking hand in hand. That is the magic of small steps. They create invisible change that one day becomes visible. So my friend, remember this. English is not a race to the top of the mountain. It is a slow, steady climb. The people who succeed are not the ones who run fast in the beginning and stop. The people who succeed are the ones who keep walking, step by step, every day. And this brings us to our next chapter. Small steps are powerful, but what makes them truly strong is practice. Daily practice is the secret that turns small steps into fluency. In the next chapter, we will talk about how to practice English without feeling bored and how to make it part of your daily life. Chapter 3: The Power of Practice. When many people hear the word practice, they immediately think of something boring. Long hours of grammar drills, endless word lists, memorizing rules, and filling notebooks with exercises. This picture is so dry and heavy that it makes the word practice sound like punishment. And when practice feels like punishment, people run away from it. But here is the truth. Practice does not need to be boring. Practice can be natural. It can be fun. It can even become a part of your daily life. just like drinking water, brushing your teeth, or walking outside. Practice is not something you suffer through. It is something that gives you life. Let us talk about the four main types of practice that can change your English: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. 1. Listening. Listening is the first and most important practice. Think about how babies learn their first language. They do not start with grammar books. They do not sit in classrooms. They spend months and months simply listening. Listening to their parents, listening to songs, listening to the world. And slowly, their brain begins to understand the rhythm, the sounds, and the music of language. For you, listening is the same. You do not have to understand every word. Just let English enter your ears. Songs, podcasts, movies, TV shows, even short clips on YouTube or TikTok. These all train your brain. Every time you listen, your brain is collecting sounds like a sponge. At first, it feels invisible, but later, those sounds become part of you. 2. Speaking. The second type of practice is speaking. Many learners are afraid to speak, but speaking does not mean standing on a stage. Speaking begins with self-talk. You can start by saying simple things like, "I am brushing my teeth," or "I am cooking rice." These small sentences are powerful because they make your mouth move in English. Another way is to ask yourself simple questions. How do I feel today? Then answer in English. I feel good. Speaking to yourself may feel strange in the beginning, but slowly, your confidence will grow. And if you want to take one more step, find safe spaces where you can speak without fear. Maybe with a friend who is also learning, maybe with an online partner, or maybe just with the mirror. 3. Reading. The third type of practice is reading. Many learners make the mistake of starting with difficult books. They pick up novels with thousands of words, and after 2 pages, they feel lost. Reading should not feel like drowning. It should feel like walking slowly into water. Start small. Children's books are perfect because they use simple language. Short news articles are also good. Even social media posts in English can help. The goal is not to read everything at once, but to read something every day. A paragraph is enough. A page is enough. Each word you read adds another brick to your English house. 4. Writing. The fourth type of practice is writing. Writing does not mean long essays or complicated reports. It can be as simple as keeping a mini journal. Write 2 or 3 sentences about your day. For example, today was sunny. I went to work. I was tired but happy. That is practice. You can also write your shopping lists in English. Write small notes for yourself. Write short messages. Every time you write, your brain connects words in a new way. A spike moment story. I remember when I was practicing with songs and movies. At first, I repeated the words without really understanding them. I sang along with my favorite song, even if my pronunciation was not perfect. I copied lines from movies, pretending to be an actor. And then one day, something amazing happened. I was walking outside, and someone said to me, "See you later." Without thinking, I answered, "No problem." The words came out naturally, like they were already living inside me. I didn't translate. I didn't plan. I just spoke. That was the moment I understood the power of practice. Practice turns strange sounds into familiar friends. Practice makes English feel natural. Fun methods to make practice alive. Here are some ways to keep practice fun. Repeat lines from movies like an actor. Copy the emotion, the voice, the style. Pretend you are in the movie. While walking or cooking, pretend you are explaining your daily life in English. For example, now I cut the onion. Now I boil the water. Play with English apps for just 5 minutes a day. Do not think about the score. Just enjoy the game. Try shadowing. Listen to a sentence in English and repeat it at the same time, like an echo. These methods make practice feel alive. They remind you that English is not only a subject in school, it is a living language you can use every day. Practice is the bridge. My friend, remember this. Practice is the bridge between learning and using. Without practice, your knowledge stays locked inside the book. You may know many words, but they will not come out when you need them. With practice, you unlock that knowledge. You open the door between your mind and your mouth. Practice is not about perfection. It is about connection, connecting with the language until it becomes a natural part of you. Emotional conclusion. So, if you feel afraid, if you feel small, if you feel like English is too far, remember, you already have the tools you need. You can listen. You can speak. You can read. You can write. You do not need to wait for the perfect teacher, the perfect course, or the perfect time. What you need is practice, consistent daily practice, and the belief that every small action is moving you forward. And now, we move to the next chapter. You know that practice is powerful, but how do we keep practicing every single day without feeling bored or tired? That is what we will discover next. So here is my message for you today, my friend. If you are thinking of giving up on English, please don't. I know it feels hard sometimes. I know mistakes can feel heavy. But remember, every mistake, every small step, every little moment of practice is shaping the English speaker inside you. You are not as far away as you think. You are closer than you believe. Your future self is waiting for you. The version of you who can speak with confidence, travel with freedom, and share your voice with the world. That person is already inside you, growing with every sentence you write, every word you speak, and every line you understand. If this video gave you hope, please like it, subscribe to my channel, and share your story in the comments. I would love to read about your English journey. And always remember, you do not need to be perfect. You just need to keep going.